Hey friends, it's Ryan from Lexi Cruises, and I'd like to share some ways that you can save money on your next vacation. Now, one of the things I'll talk about is avoiding fees. Fees are common when you fly, when you cruise, when you visit theme parks even as well. So we'll talk about that, and of course hotels as well. So let's actually start with hotels. The most famous fee with hotels is resort fees. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that not all hotels charge resort fees, and how expensive they are can really vary, usually based on the amount of amenities that are offered. One destination that is famous for resort fees, not a great thing to necessarily be famous for, is Las Vegas. Now, here's the neat thing. Now, of course, Vegas is a lot of fun. I've been many times and I love it. The great thing is that there's resorts that are on the Strip that offer promos where resort fees will not be charged. So one that comes to mind is Resorts World's Las Vegas. Sorry, getting a little tongue-tied. And even Casino Royale as well. Now, the thing with resort fees and what can really make them expensive is that typically they can have the effect of doubling your room rate. So it's something that if you can avoid them, it's a great thing to go in and to avoid. There is no segment of the travel industry that is more famous for fees than the airlines. Now, that being said, you can be strategic and still save. One of my favorite ways to save when I fly is making sure I'm strategic by my luggage. You can save a lot of money by going from having 2 suitcases that you're checking to just checking 1. You can save hundreds of dollars this way. It goes a long way to really only pack what you need when you're going in and traveling. And this is something that is especially true if you're traveling like on a basic economy fare. Yes, you can save on that, but if you're using a lot of the add-ons, you're choosing your seat as an example, or you're bringing a lot of luggage, you can end up paying a lot more for that. So only choose basic economy if you're not planning on bringing a lot of luggage with you. Cruises are traditionally one of the best values in the travel industry simply because in most ways you're paying really just one price for everything. Now, that said, there's some additional costs. One of them being is that every cruise line charges a service fee that is per person per night. Usually the service fee ranges anywhere from $16 to $20 per person per night. Now, what you can do to help really manage this is to include the service fee. You can ask your travel agent, or when you're booking the cruise, you can prepay your gratuities. Now, it is a gratuity, so it is something you can change. You only want to change it, though, if there is something that happens, the service is really bad, as an example, or you just don't have a good time on your cruise. It's important because it does pay people behind the scenes. Another thing, whether or not to purchase a drink package. You only want to purchase a drink package if you plan on consuming more than the daily cost of the drink package. If you are going to be consuming more beverages than the daily cost, it's a great value. Otherwise, it's usually a better option to pay a la carte. And that's something to consider when you're going in and you're sailing on your next cruise. Now, one segment that there are also fees for is, of course, theme parks. Now, the main fee now is that you have, for example, these options, these skip the line options. For example, Universal Express for Universal, and of course, Lightning Lane for Disney. These can potentially be a great value, especially if you're not going to be coming back to the park anytime soon. Maybe it's across the country. Otherwise, it may not be necessarily a great value, and that's something to consider when you're planning your next trip to your local theme park. Thank you everyone for joining us for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more great travel content. We look forward to seeing you soon on the next one.